Now, Larissa, as Connor said, this was not a unanimous decision by the court. In fact, it was just as close to as an even split as they can get. So when we have justices in disagreement like today, what happens?
Well, Stephanie, while Connor has been hard at work to share the next steps in the process, I've reached out to former justices who would speak to the process of a written dissent and how common it is within the Iowa courts. Now, the Chief Justice herself, Susan Christensen, dissented the ruling. We'll take a look at her written words.
While the majority of the Iowa Supreme Court ruled in favor of letting a 2023 law banning most abortions take effect, the court's Chief Justice, Susan Christensen, dissented, writing in part, quote, "Today our court's majority strips Iowa women of their bodily autonomy by holding that there is no fundamental right to terminate a pregnancy under our state constitution. I cannot stand by this decision. The majority's rigid approach relies heavily on the male-dominated history and traditions of the 1800s, all the while ignoring how far women's rights have come since the Civil War era. It is a bold assumption to think that drafters of our state constitution intended for their interpretation to stand still while we move forward as a society." Michael Streit, a former Iowa Supreme Court justice who was voted off the court in 2010 after they overturned a ban on same-sex marriage in the state, said that dissents aren't commonly published in the Iowa Supreme Court.
I think in the Iowa Supreme Court, dissents are filed probably less than 20% of the cases. So it's not typical, but it does occur from time to time.
The Chief Justice expressing the issue she feels is being misunderstood, writing in part, quote, "It is not whether abortion, with the polarizing reaction it evokes, is a fundamental right, but rather whether individuals have the fundamental right to make medical decisions affecting their health and bodily integrity in partnership with their healthcare provider, free from government interference." Writing, the dissenting opinion was likely done by random selection, meaning it was not Christensen picking this case to write about, something Streit says is standard procedure.
The Chief Justice can't say, well, I'm going to write this one because it's very important to me. That doesn't happen in the state of Iowa. It's assigned by lottery.
Streit believes Christensen's written stance to be a clear reflection of her opinions.
If you read like her dissent today, it's very practical, very just straightforward.
And Stephanie, actually, one of the things Streit said is different now than when he served back in the early 2000s is that all of the oral arguments made in the Iowa Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals are live streamed. So people can observe what's going on in the court, which he believes has increased public engagement with those decisions.
Without a doubt. Good information, Larissa. Thank you very much.